This module is related to the multilateral trade negotiation which are being conducted through GATT and World Trade Organization or World Trade Organization, because now the GATT is World Trade Organization. If we are going to focus on the objective why multilateral trade negotiations are going to be conducted, the basic purpose is to minimize the tariff barriers, because tariff barriers are playing vital role in terms of restricting the globalization process or liberalization process. And secondly, over the time, non-tariff barriers have been appeared as well. Therefore, non-tariff barriers need to be controlled or minimized is another objective with respect to the trade liberalization during these negotiations. Interestingly, high tariff in the trade of manufacturing products have been observed, specifically in industrial economies, and that was in 1940, 50%, and that slashed down to 4.1% in 1988. So over the time, industrial countries successfully reduced their tariff on manufacturing goods. And secondly, non-tariff barriers, they are also considered causing a welfare loss, because they are not going to allow those countries which can sell their product, export their product to the other countries, but due to the non-tariff barriers, they can't do that. So they are going to face losses in terms of their welfare. There are a few issues which need to be handled whenever these negotiations are going on, and World Trade Organization has to be focused on these issues. One issue is that least developing countries or low income countries, they need actually the access to the developed countries market, and specifically they have a little bit more competitive advantage in agriculture products, textile, in apparel and such kind of thing. But the problem is that their whatever access they want to have is unreciprocated. Mean to say, they are in reverse not going to offer the same kind of access to the industrial countries in their own market. So this one-sided dimension or one-sided need from the developing country is causing a problem that need to be resolved. Secondly, developing countries are expecting special and differential treatments, concessions. Mean to say, they are developing countries, and developed countries have more resources, they are more established, their markets are more matured, so they can manage any kind of shock, but developing countries can't manage that kind of shock. Therefore, developing countries should have some kind of advantages in process of trade, so that if any kind of shock is going to be bear by these developing countries, they can manage it. So if they are allowing to have some more restrictions in trade within their own economies, more tariffs, then these are going to allow some kind of management of their own economy. So that is again required, and that need to be handled or resolved through the World Trade Organization. Still, World Trade Organization is try to provide some kind of special treatment to the developing countries. Then the agriculture pricing and subsidies is another important dimension, because still many countries are giving agriculture, setting agriculture prices and giving subsidies to their agriculture sector, and that is going to change the prices of the product into the international market. And due to that, sometimes developing countries are incapable to compete with the same kind of product in which they have competitive advantage. Then the anti-dumping measures need to be taken, which are definitely creating some problems. Specifically, that issue was mostly obvious with respect to Japan. Then here we can try to understand the mechanization of trade liberalization, how this trade liberalization process goes on. Multilateral trade negotiation is the first important component of this trade negotiation and connection among the countries. And second, the regional trade agreements, which are going to emerge over the time. They are going to grow and expand, and they are going to focus on trade of goods, then trade of services, then the investment regimes, that how investment should be increased across the countries, and specifically the regulatory practices, that how to regulate trade, how to regulate investment, how to regulate all kind of trade policies. All these things need to be focused through the regional trade agreements. Actually, 1980 was considered that time period. Before that, whatever kind of regionalism was going on, considered it was the old regionalization. And after 1980, it is considered that the new kind of economy emerged. Therefore, it's a new regionalism where you can easily observe the sectoral trade agreements are going to increase. Different sectors are going to have more trade with respect to each other. They are going to have more connections with each other with respect to the trade, specifically information and communication technologies. So countries are going to trade with respect to information and communication technologies, and they are going to trade in terms of telecom sector. They are going to trade in terms of financial services. So sectors are going to be focused instead of the regions. So this sectoral trade agreements, the agreements based on a particular sector, we are going to develop that particular sector. So investment should come or investment should go. That kind of agreements are going on. So these kind of strategies are going to be followed by different countries. Here we need to understand some important perspective with respect to Pakistan. This table only gives you the idea regarding the export to the major trade partner with respect to the agriculture product. And this is for Pakistan. And this table is taken from the report published by the World Trade Organization. Reference is mentioned here. You can go through it by yourself. So the agriculture products have been, this is from 2016, 15, 16 only. If you observe the agriculture products and non-agriculture products, and they are going to be exported to European Union, China, and so on. And here, interestingly, you will observe this trade is marginally low as compared to this. So this means Pakistan is exporting less agriculture related products to these countries as compared to non-agriculture products. So earning more money, more foreign exchange in terms of non-agriculture products, even though the Pakistan is a agriculture based country. And then we go to the simple duty free imports. There, interestingly, with respect to European Union and UAE, a major proportion, as well as Saudi Arabia, a major proportion of the exports are duty free. For these countries, they are imports, and for Pakistan, these are exports. And so, but for China and still for India, it's not duty free. And in terms, and for agriculture, and then we go to the non-agriculture sector, it is a relatively better only with respect to European Union. It is duty free, and but mostly, if we observe, the still duty is quite high in terms of or with respect to other countries. So this means what it shows that actually the exports which are going to focus on different countries, they are facing more tariffs. So still Pakistan is facing this kind of situation that tariffs are growing more and more. So this kind of situation need to be handled effectively. Now this is the, again, previously I showed in previous module this situation, the tariff. Actually, this is most updated information regarding applied most favored nation tariffs. Countries are going to give each other some favor, and so they are going to preferential trade agreements with each other. So if we are going to observe the tariff rate with respect to the regions, how it is going to change now relatively as compared to earlier map, you can observe overall tariffs are quite low now across the world. 2018, the tariffs have been declined quite much, and as compared to previous situation, Pakistan, India, and such kind of countries, they have to an extent low level of tariffs. So the tariffs across the world are going to dilute, they are going to reduce. This is another sign that the multilateral trade negotiation which are going on through GATT or World Trade Organizations are becoming or facing more success over the time. So that is a good situation, because more reduction in tariff will allow countries to become more competitive.